And we're live. Yay. All right. So welcome everyone again to the EPS General Assembly 2023. First of all, I want to check whether everyone has the link to the agenda and the voting sheet. If not, let's paste this again. Is somebody else posting? Because then I would just not do it.
I don't think I have the link to the voting sheet.
I'm doing it.
You're doing it. VB, go for it.
So if you could please post a link in the chat to the voting sheet, that would be nice.
Yes.
You should have it.
And the voting sheet.
Wasn't the first one the...
I'll post the voting sheet.
I mean, that's the first URL, no?
Yes, indeed.
Right. So we are supposed to enter ourselves in the voting sheets, right?
Yes. So first of all, we should enter our name and your email in the voting sheet. That's the EPS General Assembly 2023 attendance and voting sheet. If you are a proxy, as in like if you're voting for someone else on their behalf, then I would suggest that you put your email as one email and the proxy email as another email so that you can receive 2 ballots later on.
What's the signature field?
Just put...
Just the handle.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So the reason that we want you to put in all of your emails is because we will later on be using anonymous voting to elect the board. Because we have a lot more candidates this time than the maximum allowed, we consider it to probably make you feel a bit more comfortable if we have anonymous voting. And for this reason, before we properly start, I would also ask you to activate the opt-in on the anonymous voting site. And I will post the link in the chat. So if you could try to do this soonish, that would make the voting procedure a little bit easier later on. And please use the same email that you have put in the voting sheet.
Agreements from last year are still valid, the system tells me.
That's great. Deb, ask, how do you opt in for anonymous? So this is only to receive the ballot. They will not keep your email in the system later on, and we will not know what you have voted. Eventually, the controller of the vote, which in this case would be me, as well as everybody else, will just receive the results. I, as the controller of the voting, will only have the right to start and stop the ballot, the poll. Does that answer your question, Nip?
I think so. I wasn't sure if it was something we were supposed to do on the spreadsheet.
Raquel, if I'm
Yes.
working as a proxy, so what should I do for the proxied user? Should I enter my email? And
Yeah,
vote
you should
twice?
check. You should check. Yes, you should. You can check mine.
Okay.
So, are we all good to continue?
I think there's 2 email addresses and 27. I'm not sure if that's technically okay.
Artemis, you should just put your own email because you will be receiving the ballot on behalf of Alena.
Understood. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah. Okay, so with that, we will we all have the agenda, and we will just run through the entire agenda. And so before we start, I'd also like to raise something. This is the agenda that we have prepared as the order of the bylaws. So previously, the board have raised some questions on the order of the agenda. Specifically, we were thinking about a different interpretation on whether we should elect the board first or the chair and the vice chairs first, because some of us have this impression that in the past we had elected the board first and elected the chair and vice chair out of the board. And so I was previously thinking that we would consult our members at the GA to make a decision. But after talking with Jakob and Anders, who helped write the bylaws, we understand that the current bylaw is pretty much specify that we need to there's no provision basically to vote the chair and the vice chair out of the elected board, and therefore we will just use the same agenda order, which means we elect the chair and the vice chair later on before we elect the entire board. So I just wanted to point it out that because there was a sort of disagreement and different interpretations. So for future references, just want to put it on the record. So with that, I think we can just go and have our first item, which is election of the chairperson of the GA and one secretary and 2 checkers. So the chairperson, Jakob has again volunteered to run the GA as the chairperson, and Daniela also has volunteered to be the checker of the meeting. one of the checkers of the meeting. So currently we would need one volunteer for the secretary of the meeting who will be taking the entire notes of the meeting and a second checker. Could we have some volunteers, please? You can speak out.
Can existing board members be that?
I
Okay.
think.
Yeah,
Yes.
just feel free to sign me up then.
As what?
The checker?
The checker, okay. Can we have a volunteer for the secretary? Who will be taking notes and recording? Sorry?
There's no one, then I'll do it.
Vicky, okay. All right. So that means we first go through the process of voting on the above chair, secretary, and the 2 checkers. Can we first cast your vote in the vote 1 in the voting sheet, please?
I think
the vote 1 column just got deleted.
It's back.
It's back. Okay. It wasn't me.
We will check the logs, Niklas.
Sounds like the voice of Zeus coming down from heaven there. Oh, it wasn't me, though.
I think it's safe to say that the vote has passed. And with that, I will hand the floor to Jakob to host the rest of the meeting. And VB, please just take notes and thank you so much. Oh, sorry, Vicky, yeah, take notes.
Jakob, you're on mute.
Sorry. So I note that we have 38 yes votes, 0 no votes, and 0 abstain, while we have a total of 40 people present. So we're still missing 2 votes, but we won't bother about those. We've noted that the motion has passed. And I will immediately go on to the next item on the agenda.
it seems that we're actually missing 2 people from the voting sheet.
Sorry, do we have 2 empty slots in the voting sheet, or?
Or do we have 2 people visiting the meeting that are not able to vote?
Sorry, I don't see the.
It's even worse because there are some people voting as proxies, so it should be even more.
I think Sayan, are you on the sheet?
Am I audible?
Yes. And hi, Sayan.
Yeah, I am on. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I had to join it via my mobile phone because there has been a minor fire at my place. A bit running around, but yeah, I'm on the sheet. So um, and on this call, but I'm not able to type out things right now on the sheet right now. Yeah.
I had to reload the sheet to be able to type after I opened it originally, so that might work.
Okay, but we still have the issue that we have the last row on the sheet is number 50, row 56, and the first is row 16. So that should make 40 votes. Right now we have 37 votes for some reason. I wondered what kind of problem we have.
I think we probably.
I found it.
That's yes.
Yeah, the voting sheet isn't counting all the rows.
Then we have
Got
a
it.
problem with the row 38.
Yes. Oh, somebody changed that. Don't change that. I just fixed it.
Line 38 is also a problem, at least on my machine. I've got Esther in all the fields.
Yeah.
The votes line is the line 13 is also wrong. The number of votes.
Yes, because we have 38 votes and 41 yes votes, which is something you'd expect in the mafia, but not here. Okay, so now we have 41 people attending, which I think is the correct number, and we have 41 votes. Okay, that means that we can progress to the next item in the meeting, and that's the motion establishing the timelessness of the call to the meeting. And the bylaws require us to publish this 2 weeks in advance, and it was published on the 8th of September this year, which is about 3 weeks ago, which means that the meeting should be called in a timeless way. Is there anybody who has a comment about this? Then we will go to the vote. And normally in a meeting, I wouldn't actually bring this to a formal vote, but since we need some training in using the voting system before we actually vote on the really important things, I'm going to bring this to a vote in the vote number 2. So please cast your vote whether the meeting has been called in a timely manner. Yes. Not in a timely manner, no, and abstain if you abstain on the issue. So please cast your votes.
Jakob, I see someone in the waiting room, so I will admit them.
Yes, please do. And we have Shekar, who hasn't cast a vote yet. Thank you. So I find that the meeting has been called in a timely manner. And we move on to the next item, presentation of the annual general of the annual report and the annual accounts by the board. And these resources were made available earlier this week. We have links to the general assembly board report, and we have a link to the balance report, and we have links to the profit and loss sheets. So I hand over the word to Raquel.
Okay, let me cast my screen. I think it should be this one. Am I casting the right thing?
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, you are.
Okay. And I'm gonna make this. All right. So I'm going to briefly run through what has happened this year. I have to say that this is an incredibly difficult report to prepare, because everything that I can think of is quite dry that I put on the slides. And this year we have seen so much good energy and so many good people. So it's incredibly difficult to capture all of the wonderful spirits of our volunteers. But I just hope you can imagine how wonderful it was when we were in Prague together. So here we go. First of all, I will talk about the EPS members update. This year, we have seen the second highest number of signups since our inception. We had 57 signups, and I'd just like to say a big welcome to, well, actually, there is a typo because we have just had one sign up last night and I haven't updated it. So a big welcome to our new 57 EPS members. And I'm so happy to see so many of you today here. So this year, when we started after the election in October, we actually utilized a lot of the infrastructure changes that we implemented last year, and taking advantage of a lot of the benefits. That means we immediately just jump into selecting the next venue for our next conference. And so here I have presented the timeline of our venue selection. We have done something a little bit different this year with the venue selection process. While we still used some of the RFP, that's request for proposal formal process, we also asked the community to send in their proposals so that we can incorporate both what we understand before and the community interest. So this, you can see that we have invited 14 venues altogether, and 5 of them are from the community bids. I also want to mention, actually, for the Prague Congress Center, the one that actually won, there was both a venue that we initially wanted to invite anyway, and also from a community bid. So the other ones that are not from community bids are the ones that we previously had already received RFP in past years. So we knew that their bids were fairly strong, and therefore we invited them to submit a new bid, as we already know quite a bit about them. So out of the 14 venues invited, 11 participated and 6 made it to the second round. Eventually, the Prague Congress Center won. Throughout this process, we had kept very close engagement with a lot of the communities that we're interested in going to, including the Prague community and the Czech community in general. And part of the reason that we also chose Prague, apart from the commercial advantages is also because we had really good relationship with the community, and we have established how we can do this together. So after we have selected the venue, then we kick into a formal process of getting the VAT registered and having the contract negotiation finalized. And this was a fairly long process, especially with negotiation. With the VAT registration this year, generally in the past years, we often experience quite a lot of difficulty, but this year, I mean, this is the fastest time we had ever received a Czech VAT number in 6 days. So well done, Czech tax office. For the contract negotiation, that took a fairly long time. We spent the vast majority of December and January for the reservation agreement, and later on, when we received the full contract, we hired our Czech lawyer, who also is our accountant, to advise us. And eventually we managed to finalize the full contract on the 20th of March. Then immediately, when we already signed the reservation contract, we started the February, which is the month of preparation. We had our first call with veteran volunteers on the 1st of February. And on the 15th of February, we had our kickoff call with the PyLadies CZ team. And I think Mia, who is often joining our calls, is also here today. And with our frequent calls, we also managed to organize quite a few different things for the conference, which you might later see. And on the 21st of February, the board finished the conference budget. And this year, as we already mentioned in the last GA, we wanted to have a smaller margin by decreasing the ticket price. And we did manage to do that. We reduced the ticket by an overall 24%, and we're really happy about that. And of course, like, before the CFP starts in March, we also launched the speaker mentorship program, mostly championed by Vanis, who is also here. So, and March, we launched our CFP and financial aid program, as well as our sponsorship program, before we began our ticket sales. And after we launched all of these things in the next few months, it was just getting everything into place with, publishing our new design, finishing our exhibit and schedule prints, all of the things that we're all very familiar with for the conference preparation. It was quite a few months of non-stop logistics. And this year we were also, the intention, you might remember that last year we had hired a web developer to have a new design for our website. And Patrick had done a lot of work already from last year. And this year, the idea is to reuse most of the design and the code. And indeed, the effort is a lot less, but Patrick actually wrote a nice design kit to tweak the colors so that the designer can tweak any colors to standardize the whole design process. But our designer is maybe a bit too creative. They decided to go for something a lot bolder. It turned out to be very beautiful, but as Patrick said, it was quite a lot of work and quite an exciting but scary process. But eventually we settled on something that we still used last year's design quite a bit, but with a lot of new components as well. And the conference itself, I would call it a pretty big success. Just like Naomi said, who is what I consider to be the barometer of EuroPython. She says that this year it feels like EuroPython is really properly back, and I really do have experienced that energy. We have had more than 1,300 in-person attendees, as well as many remote attendees. Many people were also joining us online. But I also want to highlight that we had 29 people, well, children, using our childcare services, which is quite a unique experience. And it is also a very strange experience to organize childcare in a country where we don't really speak the language for, to organize childcare for multilingual children. But I'm incredibly honored to be part of that process, to get a brief call with our childcare provider at the end of every day to discuss how to improve the process for the next day. And I also think that having so many children in the conference fundamentally changed the vibe of the conference to be more friendly and to be more fun. So I'm really proud of this achievement of ours. And apart from childcare, we also had several other diversity and inclusion efforts. We again organized our transcode, mostly organized by Naomi with our local support, Lenka. And we also had several different workshops, including the Snake Humble Data Women in AI. They are primarily organized by women, and many of these are free either to attendees or to free for the public. And Siofanis also led the mentorship program and make it a lot bigger this year. This year we had 39 mentees and 19 mentors, and I think he has every plan to make it even bigger next year. Some other things that we have done includes the Pi Ladies lunch at the conference, and of course, again, we have financial aid with an increased budget. The other thing that we have tried out this year for the first time is to provide extra free tickets to on-site volunteers to attract even more underrepresented folks, including some local students. And this is again led by Siofanis and Cyril and Danshri. I think two of you are here. And we have attracted a lot more on-site volunteers, and it's a wonderful experience. We also this year enhanced our COC effort, that's Code of Conduct effort. We decided this year that our Code of Conduct was indeed quite out of date. And so we decided to renew our Code of Conduct, and Vicky led this effort. We first went through a Code of Conduct training session led by OtterTech, and then we had a new Code of Conduct as well as the incident response and reporting procedure. We've also established a bigger team member, and many of them are outside of the board. We've established much more independent procedures so that we're much more guaranteed nowadays that the board are pretty much sealed from the Code of Conduct Committee, so there is proper independence. And for the first time this year, we have also started the transparency report after each conference. And so in terms of the organization of this year's conference, we have implemented again the structure of the new team structure for the second year. And this year we see a lot of the teams are maturing. So comms and design, for example, they are mostly led by VB Sengershanen and Diego, who are no longer needing pretty much any of the supervision from the board, and operations team also have a lot of different projects that they pretty much self-run. And sponsors team, we also have Artem now knows everything, which is really lovely. And financial aid team have always been very on top of everything, led by Sebastian. So I think this year our teams are maturing into being much less dependent on the board. However, I would say that potentially this year, there's still quite a lot of dependency on this person who functions as project manager to keep everything facilitated. And I would say this year is probably still the role of the chair who is doing this job. And we also see a lot more team members taking up different projects, which is very lovely, including the mentorship program, Discord bot, etc. So as we grow in scope, it feels like it's really nice that people can jump around into things that they're interested in. However, it's also quite difficult to follow many channels. So potentially there has already been discussions on how to make the structure a bit better for the future. And in this year's because the venue is a different venue from Dublin, the admin work related to deal with the venue is also significantly higher than last year. So we generally received the services provided by the venue generally needs a lot of oversight and supervision, which also took up quite a bit of the board time. And lastly, people keep saying that you should not have a wall of text on your slides, which I do agree, but I cannot help but just list everybody who is involved in the EuroPython's 2023 team here. This is a much bigger team than last year. Because I really struggled to fit everybody into this one slide. And I counted 98 people here, but of course there's so many more people that are involved, including the workshop organizers, reviewers, and everybody who has participated in the community voting and the entire Czech community that welcomed us. So this is truly a team effort, and I really hope that we will only grow bigger next years. And this year, in terms of knowledge space, we are not doing a lot to improve the knowledge base. I think we're primarily currently still depending on the Whisper network to share resources. For example, if someone asks us, do you know anything about what kind of assets to design, or like how do you do AV? We will share some of our documentations, but we still don't have much of this public. But thankfully, FADIS has kickstarted a GitHub knowledge space to write down everything that we have done so far with the mentorship program. And I hope that next years we will grow this knowledge base so that it's easier for us to share all of these knowledge with our communities, and also a good way to exchange our know-how with other community organizers. Another thing we have discussed is also to just have one space potentially to invite like different organizers to a forum to exchange our ideas. In terms of our community engagements, we had talked about our goals the last GA, and this time we did achieve a record high grant allocations, which I will talk about later. And we also organized an organizers lunch again this year at EuroPython, where we gathered a lot of different community organizers and hear how we can do to work together better. We also forged a very strong relationship with the Czech Python community. During the entire conference, we have engaged them in the community, in the planning, and in how to promote the community better. And we've also established a special monetary fund for the PyCon CZ, because we recognize that EuroPython being in that community has an effect for the local community, and we want to do our best to help support the local PyCon and the local events. As to the grants, we again this year had a record high grant allocation, including the EuroPython's financial aid program, which is about 20K. We have allocated 73.7 thousand euros so far this year. And initially our budget is 75K. We had increased that by 10K for the Czech PyCon community. So we still have some money left this year in the budget to donate to other communities. This is just a graph to compare with last few years. In terms of the future, as we said, that we really want to keep a closer relationship with local community. I think every board member, past and future, are very aligned in this vision. We, of course, want to keep doing our financial aid program and increase our grant program's scope and reach. We also want to create a shared knowledge base with everyone. And we also want to have more EPS presence in different events so that we can listen to the needs of other communities better. And we have started doing this more formally this year by having a community booth or table in PyCon UK, and soon we will be in PyCon ES. So in terms of accounting, this year on the sponsorship side, we again are just directly invoicing sponsors and continue to build direct relationship with our sponsors. And this year's sign up is not too good. We had 21 sponsors this year in Prague, compared to 29 sponsors in Dublin. And that is about 50K less of sponsorship in revenue compared to Dublin. So we're not sure whether this is due to the global climates. We definitely are keenly seeing like how it develops next year. We're again directly ticketing all attendees and worked with a local accountant for all of the tickets admission fees. So, and that's actually the 2023 current. I should change that. This is the this is the projection of the current profit and loss for the 2023 year, and we have recorded the income and the expenses so far. This is still not complete, so we are expected to still make a profit this year, and you can see how the income and expenses by category are spread out over here. And with that, the next one would be if Anders, do you want to go through some financial update for the society, or do you want to cover the EPS budget? Yeah.
No, I think we can do the go over the financials first, because this is the report. This sort of the bit you just did was an interlude, because the report is really for last year, and which is what we're.
Well, do you want to do?
This is what happens every year.
Yes.
The report of the board is about what happened this year, while the financial report is about what happened last year.
Yes.
So please go ahead, Anders.
Yes. So yeah. So we have.
Should I go to the next one?
Yeah, you can go to the next one.
Yes.
So we have been steadily making a profit and not spending it on enough interesting projects. So we keep getting more money in the bank, as you see. I think we want to go to the, this is just more detail of the, well, this is what the currently stands at actually, but in more detail. We are looking at getting a slightly bigger pile this year, but it's at least it looks like it's going to be less this year because we did spend quite a bit on financial aid and grants. So
do you want to go to the budget?
I think we want to go to the no, the budget is not now. The budget is later. We want to go to the annual report from the accountants.
I don't have this on this slide.
You don't have that.
Yes.
No, so we.
Do you want to just share that?
Yeah, I can. Let's see. I need to put it on a screen that is small enough that.
I can try to share that as well. Do you want me to just
try
beam
it
that?
Anders, one question with the treasury report and the big profit that European society is thankfully making. Are there any risks with the tax-wise classification of the European side?
Yes, it's not a big risk. I think we are. It depends a bit on how we classify things, but if we consider holding the conference as part of our mission, then I think we should be fine because we spend enough money on organizing the conference, and then even though it runs a profit, we should still be okay. If they decide that no, this is something you do just to generate money, then we have a problem. But it's not an issue until the tax authorities decide that they want to look at us.
I think I'm sharing this thing.
Yes, you are. Okay. You are. So yeah. So I think you can zoom in a bit because it's really tiny. Yeah, great. So yeah, it's a bit. We can compare to 2019, 2020, and 2021 were obviously online conferences from because of COVID. So the numbers don't really compare that well. But as you can see, we compared between 2019 and 2020, we have similar amounts of sale. We have a lower profit in 2022, which I feel is good because we don't actually want to make all that much profit. We want to make enough that we can, do the grants that we want to do, but we don't really want any more than that. So either we have to have more people asking for grants, or we have to make less money. Yes, you want to. Yeah. Go back a bit because I want this. This is a part of the formality, and that is that we should carry forward the profit for next year. So basically, we're not proposing that we should make any payouts to the members or anything like that. We're just keeping the money for future fun stuff. Okay, so yeah, it's better to look at the actual sheets, at least if you're interested in details of the numbers. See, there's a lot of things in the chat. Is there anything that's no, that's just random. Okay. Yeah. Nothing really surprising. If you end up asking what the accounting funds line are on the balance sheet, it's apparently due to the way we book multiple currencies. So that's sort of the difference between euros and the currencies that we have booked some of the other expenses in. So you can basically, I mean, it's sort of fluff in a way.
Essentially, what it shows is that the euro is very strong compared to a number of other currencies that we have money in.
Yes.
Another thing worth mentioning is what it says at the top of the sheet. The amounts are in hundreds of euros.
Yes,
which is a bit of an odd scaling factor unless you're Indian.
I still get confused after all these years. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be rather in lakh if it's in Indian? That's 10,000. But anyway, 100 is strange, even for Indians.
Yes.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
Should I keep going?
Yeah, keep going.
I think we should go back to the
okay, we go back to
the income statement. Yeah. Just to briefly show that net sales are the sums of all the income from both ticket sales and from the sponsorships.
Yes.
And then we can see that we have operating expenses, which are essentially the costs of running the conference, and the other external costs, which are the grants and things, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's mostly grants. It's a little bit of administrative costs and a few keeping the domains and paying for the accountant and paying for the bank, things like that. But the big part of it is the grants.
Yeah. So this is very much in short form, and we have the published more detailed accounts if anybody is interested. And then I think we can let Raquel continue.
Yeah. Scroll on. Yeah, you can scroll on.
That's everything. Thank you. Yes. Over to you, Jakob. And thank you.
Okay.
All right.
Let me see if I can get back to the agenda view. There. So now we have had the presentation of the board report, the balance sheet, and if I can move that out of the way somehow. Yeah, and we've seen the profit and loss sheet for 2010-22 as well. There is a decision to be made about this, but it's really a formality. Usually you archive these reports, and unless there is anybody who has anything to object against archiving the reports, we will move on to the next point. Okay, then it's the presentation of the report of the auditor, and I am the auditor, and I have made an audit together with Naomi of the books of the society, and we had a minor point that was cleared rather easily, where there were some things that were forgotten in the accounting, but that was more of an administrative point than anything else. And if Raquel could please bring up the auditor's report, it shows that it's what we call a clean auditor's report. That means that we don't have anything to object against the management and the accounting of the of the board. I won't read this in detail, but the last paragraph is, I recommend that the annual general meeting approves the income statement and balance sheet, disposes of the profit by keeping it in the balance sheet for next year, and grants the board members discharge from liability for the financial year. And again, there is no decision to be made around this report unless there is somebody who wants to bring up something specific. Otherwise, it is simply archived. Okay, then we can move on to the next item, which is the discharge from liability for the board. And here we are, as a society, saying that we are not going to bring any lawsuit against the board if we decide to discharge the board from liability. There is still a possibility of bringing the board to the attention of the authorities should they have done anything that turns out to be illegal. So that is not an issue. It's an issue of whether we consider that the board has discharged their liability in an honorable way. So first, I leave the floor open. Is there anybody who wants to bring up anything considering the discharge from liability? No? Then we go to a formal vote, and then we have vote number 3. But before we go to that vote, we have one person who has joined the meeting after it started, and that's Czech. Do we have Czech in the list in the General Assembly? No, we don't. So if Czech signs up on line 57 in the attendance and voting sheet, we can give her a vote on this issue. And the voting sheet, the link to the voting sheet is one of the very first links in the chat. And we have Rick, who has joined as well.
Yeah. There is a clarification in the chat that voting yes to discharge the liability means that we do not we will not. Yeah, but it basically means that we think the board did a good job.
Yes, exactly.
Quick question. If you're on the board, how do you vote?
Abstain.
Abstain, okay.
Okay, I still don't have Czech adding her details.
Vicky, I wonder whether you want to accept some of the suggestions, very good suggestions made by Mark on the agenda by actually accepting that and record the future votes.
What do you mean? Sorry, I'm just typing as quick as I can and taking screenshots at the moment.
Okay, we have one more person joining the roster of the meeting, which is Rick Eldarwish. Can we modify the roster to include him as well? If there is anybody who has anything against this, speak up now. Otherwise we will add him. Okay, I find that he's added to the roster as well. Then we can go on to vote number 3, which is whether you vote for the motion to discharge the board from liability. You vote yes. If you don't want to discharge the board, you vote no. And if you're a member of the board, you should abstain in this vote.
Right.
And now we have a total of 42 votes with 34 yes and 8 abstain. So I find that we have discharged the board from liability. Then we come to a number of elections. Before we go into this, I would like to thank the board very much for the awesome job which I think that you've been doing with the conference and with all the issues around it. And I also think that the work that you've started, where you distribute the work more outside of the board, is an important way for the future of the conference. I'm involved in another organization called GothCon, which is a nearly 50-year-old games convention, which is run in a way which the EuroPython is moving towards, which is that they have a board which meets fairly seldom, and then they have a larger organization committee, which is subdivided into various different fields. But with that said, it's time to move into election. And we have initially an election of a chairperson of the board. And we have so far one candidate, which is Arthur. And it is possible to announce a candidacy at the meeting. So I'm now opening the floor for any other candidacies. No, then I would like to give the floor to Arthur for him to give a brief explanation of his candidacy and what he wants to accomplish with EuroPython. Arthur, please.
Thank you, Jakob. Hi, everyone. I'd love to keep it short. So, hi, I'm Arthur, and some of you might already know me. I've been helping with EuroPython since 2017, including 3 terms on the board, and one of those terms as a vice chair. I think we've all noticed that in the last few years, the EPS has experienced a lot of growth, and I think it's a good time to expand our horizons and actively seek additional projects. It's a good time to think about what else EPS can do beyond the conference and how else it can support the European Python community. To make those other projects easier to achieve, I believe we should automate and perhaps outsource some of the admin work related to the conference organizations. And I think the good benchmark, if we're able to succeed in that, would be restarting the tradition of announcing the date and location of the next conference at the closing session. So as a goal, I would consider a great achievement if we announce the location of the 2025 conference at the end of the conference in 2024. That's all from me.
Thank you very much, Arthur. Since we only have one candidate, we are going to run this as an open vote, where you vote yes or no to electing Artem as the incoming chairperson, and you can also abstain. So this will be vote number 4, I believe. Is that correct? Yes, it is.
Yes.
So please start voting.
Just for the record, it is Arthur and not Artem for chair.
It's Arthur, yes.
Yes. Okay. Just wanted to make.
So we have a final number. We have 41 yes and 1 abstain. So I find that we have elected Arthur as the new chairperson of the EuroPython Society, and I will give both the outgoing and the incoming chairpersons a bit of time before we close this meeting. But now we go on to the election of the vice chairperson of the board, and there we have Artem as a candidate, and I'm opening the floor for any more candidacies. No, we don't have any more candidacies. So then I give the floor to Artem to present himself. Please go ahead.
Yes, thank you. So my name is Artem, and my EuroPython Society involvement story begins last year in Dublin. So, and for this year, for the Prague edition, I had the privilege to work with, side by side and learn from truly amazing people. My focus areas and responsibilities for this year edition was the sponsoring and operations. I also committed to the online setup of the Discord and, specifically the bot development. As a board member, I'll first invest time into absorbing and systemizing knowledge, making sure that my persona is successfully passing the board member integration test. I believe that EPS deserves the best structure and coordination. My goal as a vice chair would be to optimize and standardize the process, learn and test best practices, and share them with others. So I will commit my time and energy to make the next release of EuroPython Society board the source of inspiration and also an information for other Python communities.
Thank you very much, Artem. Sorry for mispronouncing your name.
That's fine.
It's not always easy.
Yes.
Then we move on to a vote in a similar manner as before, which means that we have vote number 5. If you would like to have Artem as vice chair of EuroPython, vote yes. If you're not interested, vote no. And if you don't know, then you can vote abstain. And we have 43 votes of 42 possible. That's because Czech has joined, but she's not yet eligible to vote. But I find that we have 41 yes and 1 abstain. So we have elected Artem as vice chair. And then I bring up a motion to add Chek-Ting Ho as on the rooster as well. And if there is nobody who has anything against this, she is now eligible to vote in the next item. Then we move on to election of the board, and we have this year an embarrassment of riches because our bylaws allow for up to 7 people in addition to the chair and vice chair to be members of the board. And I assume that we are going to have 7 persons as members of the board. If there is anybody who would like to bring up an issue to reduce that number, it is possible to do that now. Nope, then it's going to be an election of the 7 highest ranking candidates according to the CIVS vote that we're going to have. But before we do that, we should have a presentation of all the candidates, and ideally that would be done in a random order, but I am going to bring people up in the alphabetic order by first name, and you have about 45 seconds to present yourself. And I'm not going to bring up Artem and Artur, of course, for this piece. So please go ahead, Alessia.
Yes. Hi, everybody. I'm Alessia, and I'm very excited to be here with you this evening. So my experience with the Python community started 7 years ago when I joined the organizers committee of PyCon Italia. A year later, then I also joined EuroPython team, and 2 years ago, I helped organize PyCon. And by being on the board, I could provide a perspective of the needs of different local chapters in Europe. And even though I think the local chapters should have the autonomy of creating their events according to their local requirements and context, I still believe there's a lot of value in sharing knowledge and the best practices among all of us, as we are, after all, often facing the very same challenges. That's all by me.
Thank you very much. Alexander, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Jakob. Yeah, hi, I'm Alex. I think many of you know me. I joined EuroPython in 2014 and was, I think, in total working on 7 EuroPython conferences so far. I left for a bit after COVID. The team asked me to come back, so I came back. I was 3 years a board member, 1 year vice chair, and I'm also an organizer of PyCon and PyData in Berlin and EuroSciPy. And I think there's still a lot of stuff to be done to make EuroPython a better experience for the community, but also for the volunteers making EuroPython happen. And I would like to fully support this with my experience from the past and enthusiasm. Thank you.
Anders, please go ahead.
There, I'm unmuted also. Yes, I've been the treasurer since 2017, I think. It's been a while, so I forget, and I'm sort of stuck being the treasurer until we can find another Swede who wants to run for the board. I helped organize EuroPython in 2004 and 2005 here in Gothenburg, and then I've been to a number of them. I've lost count by now. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you. Then we have Angel or Angel.
Yeah, that's the first one. First version is correct.
Angel.
Angel. Thank you. Hello, folks. My name is Angel. I'm joining you from Romania. My first EuroPython conference was 2012. And it's been like an amazing experience. I keep come back to EuroPython, even though I don't like work with Python as in my like day-to-day work. And it's just like, you know, from the first time I volunteered on site in 2019, I was like blown away by the energy of the volunteers and the people involved in the board and everything. So I've been a volunteer in 2019 and 2023. I was part of the organizing board in 2020 until the lockdown happened. At least I was involved a bit in choosing the venue, the Dublin venue, and location. And then, you know, during the pandemic, due to some personal issues, I had to step away, like some people did as well. But I'm really looking forward to rejoin the effort, and in any capacity possible, if as a board member, I'll be very honored. If not, I will just do whatever is needed to help this community thrive and organize a great conference next year. Thank you.
Thank you, Angel. Daniela, please. Do we have Daniela with us? No, I don't think she's here. Then we will simply move on to David.
Hi, I'm David. Some of you might know me from GenCon Europe. I've been organizing it since 2020 till 2022, and again next year, 2024. We also recently started PyCon Portugal, 2022, and this year also happened again, and next year again. I'm very enthusiastic, committed, and pragmatic. I've always tried to have a positive impact in everything I do. I would love to put my experience to good use in EuroPython society and grow together with all of you.
Thank you. Then we have Dido.
Yes, I'm so excited to be here with you. Guys, so I don't have this previous experience with EuroPython like you because my journey started this year and when I was a speaker in July. But going through the corridors and meeting a lot of people, I was very excited and decided to find a way to help you because you're such a great community, and I was really thrilled to be among you and to be selected as a speaker and to meet so many different people and interesting ones. The focus areas I can help you with session support, with causal connections with local communities, the admin work you mentioned, the communication over the channels, speakers mentorship, especially for beginners, and of course content creation, the one you manage for the knowledge base. I have a lot of experience with previous events organization, but in a different field, in the digital marketing. So I think I can help you with whatever you need is whatever you think is needed in this focus series. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dido. Then we go to Diego.
Hi, everyone. My name is Diego. I think many of you know me. I've been attending EuroPython since 2011, so I'm actually a kind of veteran of attending EuroPython. But then in the last couple of years, I decided to volunteer and I helped out with communications and with the mentorship program and stuff. And I think for me, it's kind of the next natural step is be part of the board and kind of continue this journey and be part of this fantastic community that I've been fairly low for so long now. So I think that, yeah, that's me.
Thank you very much, Diego. Then we have Lais.
Hello. So my name is Lais. Thank you. It's nice to see everyone. So I've been volunteering for the Python community since 2019. I'm a board member of Python Ireland. I've been an organizer for EuroPython since 2020. I had to get a little bit of a break in the middle, but anyway, I'm quite passionate about inclusion in the tech industry. I also run a few Python events around. Right now I'm focusing on Humble Data, which is a Python and data science event for underrepresented minorities. And I think I would be a good board member because I've been told, hi Sebastian, that I'm good. My communication skills are very good. I truly believe in what the EPS does. And I would also like to help this board, these new members, with the mission of making the EPS better for next year and for the following years. Let's see. Vote for me.
Thank you, Lais. Do we have Omotola here? No. Then we will go on to Shangar Shahan.
Yes,
Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Sangarshanan. Thank you so much for, I think, joining. My EuroPython journey kind of started during COVID, like around 2020. It was my first ever volunteering, first time volunteering for any event, any Python event ever. And I think I was initially skeptical because I was like, what's the point of volunteering? Like, what's even the point? But then when I actually did, and when I actually met the people on the ground, they were so warm, so lovely. I was completely blown away. I was like, wow, that's it's like the best kind of people to just surround yourself with the best kind of energy that you can kind of surround yourself with. And I went back with like so much warm, fuzzy feelings, feeling so much energy, with so much to learn, so much to explore from every single edition of EuroPython. And I think I'm kind of honored to be standing for the board. And as if I become a board member, I would kind of want to do the same thing for someone who's in like my position, who's kind of someone who's scared, who wants to kind of get into the community, who's not kind of sure, who doesn't know what he's doing. And I want to kind of help people in that space to kind of get in, make them feel comfortable, make them feel welcome, and have fun. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Then we have Sebastian.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think this is already an information overload, so I'll try to keep it short. My name is Sebastian. I joined at the start of the pandemic. First joined the financial aid team. I later became the financial aid team lead, which was actually quite a lot of fun. Feel very honored to be in there to help people who need aid to attend the conference. I'm also a member of the Code of Conduct Committee, and I try to do a lot of other stuff for the conference and for the EPS whenever I have the time for it. In terms of the EPS, I think that one thing that we really need to address is making the conference organization sustainable, especially in volunteer effort. So we need to prevent heroics, relying on heroes, prevent volunteer burnout and stuff like that. And this also means that once we free up time for board members, we can really start thinking about a multi-year strategy, maybe think about the legal structure of the EPS and have room for that. And I think that's really important, something that the board should figure out. I also think that the EPS should be for everyone. So I think that it's important that whoever we elect tonight, it's important that we maintain diversity, including if that means that there's no place for me on the board. I think that's important to mention as well. I think that's really important. I think we have a great list of candidates to choose from, so choose wisely. So I think that's it.
Thank you, Sebastian. Then we have Stefania.
Hello, everyone. I'm Stefania from Turin, Northwest Italy. My background is in physics. I work in data science, and especially now running a nonprofit about social impact. I've been involved in open source community since the past 10 years, Linux, Mozilla, but especially Python, and I've been involved in PyCon Italy. And recently, I put more attention in social impact projects. So the value that I can bring in IPS will be to understand which initiative can bring together technology for social impact projects, and also to continue to do proactive activities to not only support communities, national communities, but also perhaps make interaction between them, and make it more and more ways to have a welcoming environment and welcome everyone, as other people said, and continue with this great mission to bring technology and Python everywhere. Thank you.
We have Theophanis.
Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to see you all here. I'm Fanis. I'm a Pythonist and I'm involved in EPS since 2020. I want to make it quick. So I'd like to share 2 points for me as a board member. First, helping other communities. As already mentioned, we have created the knowledge base. And in the future, I'd like to see it full of documents and processes. And of course, mentorship for communities in order to help other communities. And but second and most important, I would like to see a more improved volunteering experience while being a board member. I worked nonstop last year. I communicated with more than 80 people from EPS, and I would like to ensure that everyone sees EPS as a community of friendly volunteer faces where inclusion comes first. And that's all from me.
Thank you. Then finally, we have VB.
Hello, good evening. I had a note somewhere here wherein I had written what I'm going to speak, so I'm going to I can't find it. But anyway, I'm VB. I have been volunteering with EuroPython for about 3 years, one of which was as a board member, outside of which I spent about a decade volunteering with Python APAC, so different sort of Python conferences within APAC. And it's like truly like whatever I am or whatever my skills are at this point, even my current job, like all of this is through and by the Python community, or or something that I've sort of come to because of the community. And there are some people on this call whom I consider to be very good friends of mine, and I would not have met them if it wasn't for EuroPython Society. So I'll keep it short. I want to essentially make sure that EPS is a warm, welcoming, and hospitable place for all future volunteers and for current volunteers. I've made my own fair share of mistakes before. I'd like to essentially be better and essentially create a better environment. Last but not the least, because I forgot whatever else I had to say, I'm just going to paste like a wee snippet from my original motivation. Please read it. I do want to work towards it. And vote good, vote right, and do what you feel is best for the EPS. Thank you very much and have a great evening. Now I'm just going to mute myself.
Thank you very much. Now it's time to move on to the votes, but before
we have another candidate.
Oh, do we?
Yeah. So yeah.
You go, VP.
No, we Omo Tayo. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name correctly. She joined afterwards, so maybe we give them.
So we have Omotola here.
Yes.
Please go ahead, Omotola.
Hi everyone. Apologies for joining a bit late. It's my birthday eve, so I was on transit moving to a beach house. I just settled in and I quickly had to jump the call. This is my first time in a while taking a break to celebrate my birthday. Okay. Hi everyone. Thank you so much. Omotola Eunice Omotayo. Thanks for the wishes. Currently work as one of the outreach program organizers. I work as the community manager there. And for the past 5 years, I've been volunteering for a non-profit organization in Africa called She Could Africa. I lead the community team there. And my participation in this community will help me. I intend to strengthen the community. Okay, I intend to strengthen. I'm just reading the wishes. Sorry, it's a bit distracting. Okay, I intend to help the EP to strengthen the community in terms of helping with the engagement, and also I believe my participation in the team will encourage more Black folks like me to see that they are not just contributing to communities, they're not just speaking at events, volunteering, but also they can be part of the leadership team. Because in Africa, it is actually a challenge because we see that there is this narrative of we want to participate, but in the leadership team, people don't have the confidence to actually apply. So I believe with my participation is going to encourage more folks like me to not just come in for conference, but to intentionally participate in EuroPython and even other African communities very close to me. So I'm going to use my experience so far that I've gathered as a community manager to strengthen the community, increase engagement, and also to advocate among my local communities about the efforts we are putting in. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So before we go on to the vote, I remind you that we also have Daniela as a candidate, and that her profile is in has been published somewhere. Do we have it in the document, or where do we have it, Raquel?
I just sent it on the chat. If
Thank you.
Go there, then it should be there.
Okay. So we are using the CIVS for the voting, and I believe that we are sending out an email in order to...
Jacob, you should ask if there are more candidates.
I already did.
Oh, you already did? Okay.
Yes. And we don't have any more candidates as far as I know. No. So is it true that we're sending out an email with a link where you cast the votes? And this is a ranked choices approval voting, which means that you rank your choices, and you can have as little as one choice, and you can have as much as everybody as a choice. But you rank them and you decide which order you want them in. And personally, I think that this is going to be a very hard choice to make, because there are no candidates that I wouldn't want to vote for. So,
excuse me, yeah. I'm not sure exactly where to go and vote. I mean, I got the opt-in. I did opt-in, but
so you should have already received an email now, I really hope. Just check the email that you used for on this sheet, on the voting sheet. And check the spam as well. And here I think I see that Artem, I see a few people have not activated. There's Artem, Darren, Rick, and Chuk have not opted in.
So you're supposed to receive an email saying Paul:EPS 2023 to 2024 board vote.
I just got it now.
From Concord Internet Voting.
So sorry. I'm struggling because I was traveling and I just found a place to stay right now. I'm so scared I'm going to sleep on the street in Delhi. But I only got the activation email. Can we pause for a bit, because I really want to vote. How to get the opt-in thing? I don't know how to do it.
You have to go to the CIVS website, and
website.
there is a selection.
I have active. I don't, because when I go to the website now, if I put in my email, then I only get the send the activation code by email. Doesn't get any.
Yes, that's what option. You need to select.
To deactivate my code.
Yes.
Deactivate, not activate, because I have already activated.
Oh, you have.
Is that what I have?
Then you should be able to see a vote.
I didn't get it.
Okay. Let me resend it. So who else have not get it? I'll try to resend it.
I did not receive one either. No.
Yeah, I think.
Yes, me neither.
Me neither. So I received only in one email, but not for the proxy voting.
Okay. Let me just resend. That's Artem. Who else? There is Artem, Chuk.
I did not receive an email either.
And Sebastian.
There are other 3 people in the chat: Miguel, Sheka, Patrick, Rick.
David also, please.
That's Rick. Rick, have you activated this? Have you opted in already? It's Rick Diego.
Yeah, I still haven't received it. Let me know when you have resent so I can try to find
it. It says that you have not been activated, Chuk, and as same as Rick. Are you using the same email as you put into the the sheet.
Yes, I can try to deactivate it and then activate it again, but it needs some time.
But just make sure that you're using the same email as you put.
Yeah, I am.
Okay.
But I was doing it on the go, so maybe like I don't know, the system is not correct. Or I don't know, because my internet may got cut off while I was doing it. So let me do it again.
Yes.
There's a typo in Chuck's email address on the sheet. It says
maybe
email.con and not .com. Perhaps that's why.
Can I change your email typo, Chick?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, please. Again, I was doing it on the phone, so it's super finicky. Sorry about that. So I think now I've deactivated it. Maybe I can reactivate it again?
Yes, reactivate it. Yes. And there's also David. Is that correct?
No, I just got it. Thank you.
Okay, so is that just Chuk now?
I can't go to the page to activate it again. Now I only have to deactivate like things. I don't know what to do.
It's
and what's my status right now in the system?
Your status is that you have opted out of this. So you have to
how can
opt
I
in.
opt back in? I don't have the link to opt back in.
It's in the menu. at
Here
the
it
right
is.
top, activate user, and there you can opt in again. Yeah.
Can I opt in again now? I don't know. Like I go to that management page and then it only gives me the option to opt out. I can't opt in.
Are you on the opt-in page? Because that's not the management. It's just email address request activation.
Let me try again. I don't know. Like,
do you want to have a different email?
No, I'm using the same email. It's checkingho@gmail.com. Request activation code. And then it says something went wrong.
Is it?
Can I use another email or?
Is it easier if you send your votes to someone that you're like you can essentially proxy it to someone, and they do it on your behalf?
I can send it to Lace. Is it okay?
Absolutely.
But I don't see. But I didn't see the list of candidates. I I have everything. Like the meeting is on my phone, but I try to do it on my computer. Oh geez, I don't know. Come on, please. Stop panicking. How can I request activation code? Now it doesn't even send me emails. It doesn't send me emails anymore.
Do you have another email address that you could use and just start over again with?
Yeah, is it okay if I use another email address?
Yeah, just send it to me and I will add you.
Oh, okay.
But you have to opt in with that other email, of course.
Okay, I'm temporarily changing my email for tonight. Okay.
Raquel Shekhar wrote that he didn't get the poll email as well, but the activation was successful.
Okay, let me do this again with Shekhar.
Okay, now I've got the activation code for the other email. Let's see. And then I have to input this code here on my phone.
Shekhar says that you already are authorized. So the key is resent to you. So you should be getting that again, I suppose. Okay, cool. Got it. Great.
I don't think I've received my
I
code.
checked out the. I can't see the email yet. I'm refreshing like crazy right now.
Rick, I will resend it to you anyway, just in case.
Okay.
Rick, you should have received the ballot again.
I still haven't got my ballot yet.
Hasn't come through yet for me yet either, but
check the
refreshing.
spam. Check the spam as well.
Yeah.
Also check whether there is any typo potentially in the sheet.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. I got it. Cheers.
Oh, I still haven't got it. It's not in the spam folder or anything.
Because you wait.
I have used another email now.
So let me do this again. So you have not activated with that email. So
I just complete activation and submission, it says.
I think it's there might be the step like did you like copy the code and
I copied
paste
the code, I put it, paste it, and then complete activation. I keep pressing that button. I do it on the phone though. It said this email is already activated. me@check.dev.
Is it possible that you're entering the activation code for deactivation as well? Because you get a mail management email saying your code's activated, and then it gives you a link to deactivate it.
No, I didn't. I just put in the activation code in the same page, and I pressed complete activation, and it said this email is already activated.
You put like some people first, some people.
I can offer to be a proxy, Chuck, if you want.
But I need. Can you email me the list of candidates or WhatsApp?
I can send you the screenshot.
Yeah, send it via email because I'm now on my phone with Zoom, which is.
Choke, I can also send you the screenshot via Telegram if that helps.
I don't have Telegram on my
okay.
computer. Yeah, email is the best.
Right.
Yeah, just send to me@check.dev or checkting.ho@gmail.com.
Okay, Martin, can you send Chuck this list, because I submitted the form and I don't have the list of candidates.
I will send her the list.
Thank you.
Is Omotayo fixed? Because she didn't get the vote.
I was able to activate my email, but I haven't gotten the email to vote, so I'm still checking.
It's the first year I have problem with this system, to be honest. I don't know why.
I think the problem is that Amatoya, your email is not in the ballot sheet yet. So I actually think that Jakob, you need to allow her to do this vote because she was admitted later.
We did that.
But she's not in there. She's not in the voting sheet, and that's why.
She is. She's on line 58.
That's Chuck.
That's Chuck.
Yeah.
Isn't that who we're talking about?
No, Amatoya, Tayo, sorry.
Ah.
Fine, Omotayo, Omotola.
Amotoy.
Ah. Yes, then she needs to enter her details in the voting sheet on line 59.
Do you know the
Choke? You should have a mail at the Gmail.
Okay.
I've
and the voting sheet, the link to the voting sheet is one of the very first.
I just pasted the message again, so you have the links.
I agree. Oh yes, you don't get chat history, do you? When you join later.
I just put in the numbers, right?
Chuck, are you sending it to Martin, to Artem, or to me?
I'm sending it to Martin.
Okay, cool.
With a link then, so that I can vote for you.
with what link? I'm replying to your email. Is that okay?
Yeah, but then I'll still have to like get in the system to vote for you.
Oh,
because
no. I have the problem accessing the system. That's why I need a proxy. I make you my proxy.
Okay, good.
Can you vote for me?
Right,
Yeah.
yes. I'm going to then please use the Mboros. I'm going to type this in the chat. So I'm going to be the proxy for Chuck at this email address. Let's just trust that Gmail is the fastest.
Yes, the most reliable right now.
So then
I think Chuck needs to make that change in the spreadsheet, or maybe Martin, you can do that.
Yes, I will also put that in this. But actually, I'm just going to do my voting now, so that is done, and then I can do the proxy voting. That's so that I'm not messing this up now. No.
Wow, there's so many to fill in this year to rank.
I still have not got, yeah.
We still don't have Almatoya in the attendance and voting sheet. Are you working on that?
No, wrong. That's the wrong address. Mboros Gmail. Okay, so I put my email address in the proxy sheet, so that hopefully should work.
Okay, Martin, I'm going to send you the ballot.
Perfect. I will tell you when I have it.
You have not activated.
Okay, I'll try to. But I have Choke's vote already, so we'll just have to see that I get to activate that.
It's like ranking, not like we normally do, right? So and you don't have to do all of them. Okay. Raquel has something in the chat there.
Sorry. You cannot edit. You should be able, anybody should be able to edit. It's a spreadsheet. It is the spreadsheet and not the Google Doc.
So I'm now activated at this email address.
So you should be. Have you seen a ballot? I can resend it.
Yes, please resend it.
Yes.
Could you resend it to me as well, please?
I did resend it to you a few times.
Oh, crap. Okay.
Yeah. I can try again.
I got the activation code, but I don't have the ballot actually. Sorry.
Can you check whether you might have a typo somewhere?
I've checked it.
Now I have Choke's vote link, so I could do the voting for her.
And it's not my spam either.
Rick, I can be your proxy.
You're row 57, correct?
That's correct, yeah.
Yeah, I've tried that a few times. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's my email. It's the one that I use to register for Civs.
It says now that you're not activated. Could you have potentially deactivate it.
Did you actually use the activation code?
I did not use the activation code.
Then
That
that's
might
your
be.
problem.
No. Okay. So, like, wait a second. All right. Attends. C'est quoi ce bordel? Let me see.
Raquel, if you check the sheet, I put another email address and I can vote for Rick.
Do we want to wait just for a sec to see whether
Okay.
it's
And
okay.
I've got deactivation code when I get to the form, to the mail management form.
In that case, we could try with Artem.
Okay.
I'll
Would you
send
like
you
that?
email, Rick.
All right. Cheers.
Artem, should I already add you?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Artem, how should Rick set you his preferred picks?
Tayo, you should have already gotten the ballots. And Artem, you should activate and you should be good to go.
I'm waiting for the email.
Yeah.
And yes. So let me activate it quickly.
Konstantin is eating popcorn, enjoying the show.
Yeah, this is fun today. Okay. I'm assuming you can put anybody who you don't vote for on 15, and you don't have to assign them a position. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Yes.
Okay.
So I am activating now. So I can vote. Rick, I'll send you the screenshot.
Fascinating to see how the hurdles of technology are moving around. Once upon a time, we had huge problems hooking our machines up to the projectors. And then for a while it was getting a connection over the internet to a forum like this. And these days we are into how do we get the elections to work. Oh, I've tried ChatGPT. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's just messing with you.
It tells me all sorts of lies. And in a believable way too.
Jacob, never ask ChatGPT to do arithmetic for you either, especially if it's to do with counting votes and things.
Yeah. I read an interesting article the other day, which shows one of the real shortcomings of ChatGPT, and that is that if you say that X is the father of Y, it can't deduce that Y is the child of X.
Right, it took me a while to deduce that myself.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just messing with you.
Okay, how are we doing?
I'm almost done with this.
Great.
We have sent out 49 ballots and received 40 so far.
Good, so I still have some time. Choke, just to be sure, we already voted for Artem and Artur, so I'm just going to take those two out because they were on your list, and but they are already voted, and I'm pushing up the other positions. Yeah, but otherwise,
Okay,
I think I
that makes
have.
sense.
I think I have something that represents what you sent me, and I'm going to submit that and send you a screenshot that you have a confirmation of your vote.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So Choke has now voted.
Tola, so the voting platform, basically you just rank all of the candidates by the order of your preference, and you are free to rank different people with the same position. So you don't have to use up all of the positions. Does that make sense?
Okay, so I just so on the Google Sheet that I have access to, I can see vote 1, vote 3, up to vote 11, and I can see yes or no.
No. So currently we're voting for the board, and that means I have already sent you a ballot. You should have received an email, and the email subject is poll EPS 2023 to 2024 board vote. If you click the URL, you should see the order of all of the candidates, and you can rank them.
Okay, is there now anybody who wants to submit a vote who hasn't done so?
I did it for Rick.
Sorry, who was that?
I did it for Rick.
You've done it for Rick. Great, thank you. So is there anybody who still wants to submit a vote? Then we'll close the voting, and Raquel can move on to the results of the voting.
Actually, everybody will receive the result.
Yeah.
So we have.
But you have to close the voting, I think.
I have done that.
Yeah.
Oh, interestingly, we have a tie. So I'm going to copy the result as a screenshot.
Yeah. So as far as I can tell, we have elected Lais, Sebastian, Fanis, VB, Anders, Sanger Shahan, and Alessia to the board.
This is because we are using the Schultz algorithm. So we are seeing a tie. So in this case, I already have copied the screenshot there. So I would suggest we simply need to consult another rule here.
Okay.
So yes. So we currently have quite a few different rules. The question is, we have actually not previously said what we use in case of a tie. So I don't know whether you have any suggestions, Jakob. I think it would be your call here.
Didn't it say something that we were using Concorde as the second variant?
Oh, yes, indeed.
Yes.
Yes, in that case, that is true. Then I will copy the second screenshot there. Where's Concorde?
Yeah. So actually it is what it says in the meeting notes is we will use the Concorde ranking method with Schulze completion rule for ranking to combine all the ballots into a single ranking.
Yes.
So that means that we should use the Concorde IRV as the
primary.
The primary one. And then we have a result with Fanis, Lais, VB, Sebastian, Anders, Alexander, and Sangar Shahan as the members of the board. Is there anybody who wants to comment on this result? Then I find that is the board that we have elected. And please note that if you weren't elected to the board, this does not mean that you are in any way rejected. We have a lot of talent around, and it may very well be that people vote for the people they know the best and things like that. And we have lots and lots of positions available for the people who haven't been elected to the board in the broader organization. So yeah, I really, really hope that you will be participating there. Okay, this brings us on to the next item on the agenda. And that is a vote on whether we should have a nomination committee for the next annual meeting or not. And what is the position on the board on this?
We have no recommendation for a nomination committee.
The board has no recommendation. Then I open the floor to discussion. Anybody who wants to pitch in on the subject?
So, sorry, regarding the election board, is it the previous email that has mentioned the nomination together with the candidate? Is that true? Just want to double check.
No, it really isn't. It's if we want to have a committee that does screening for suitable candidates for next year or not. And so far, I don't think we've had one. But in view of what we have right now with many candidates, this may be something to reconsider.
So is it a kind of group of people who handle the election?
It would be a group of people who would be responsible for basically picking a slate of people to run. Am I right, Jakob? That's what we're talking about.
Yes. So you would still have the elections to the board, but you essentially have a committee that can interview people ahead of the meeting and who can make a recommendation for a board that is coherent in some sort of way, like you can select people that represent different groups and different skills and things like that.
May I ask a
we've
question?
never had one, right?
We've never had one.
Sorry, may I ask a question?
Certainly.
Why? Why has this been put on the agenda? Clearly somebody thinks it's a good idea to have one. I mean, clearly I have my own thoughts about that, but I would be interested to hear whoever it was or the people who had thought about that, just to give them an opportunity to sort of perhaps advocate for this, and for others perhaps to whatever the opposite of advocate is.
It's really simple. It's part of the Swedish non-profit organization tradition.
Yeah, we've voted on it every year, and we've always voted no, as I recall.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just part of the procedure that in the bylaws, it's one of the items.
Ah, right. Yes. Okay, thank you. I have a very small brain. Thanks for your patience.
So let me clarify. So it's required by the bylaw to have this item in the agenda, not that we have to have this group of people to do whatever Jakob just said, right?
Correct. Now I had Deb raising her hand.
Oh yeah, now that I know it's a formality, I don't have to say I think it's quite a lot of things to give to a small group when we're already a pretty manageable group.
Okay, thank you. There was somebody else raising their hand, but that's been taken down now.
Yeah, that's probably me. I have keeping my hands up and down because there are points I want to comment, but then some other people will have better comments. But I want to express my own opinion about I'm not in favor of having this committee, for reason being similar to what Deb said. I think we have a kind of good election process. I don't think that is required.
Thank you. Then unless there are any more comments, I think we should move to a vote, and you can vote yes, no, or abstain to having an election committee. And this will be vote number 6, I believe. Yes. So please go ahead.
Since this is public, Choke, do you just want to say your vote and I'll click it for you?
Oh, yes, please. I already expressed my opinion that I'm not in favor, so I don't want this committee.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Right, so no is no committee, correct?
Correct.
Just for clarification. Thanks.
Okay. Actually.
Yes, we don't want a committee, or no, we do.
Stop it, Nicholas. You're making it so difficult.
Confused.com there.
Maybe we should start another poll for this.
Hold on. My cursor is stuck here. I want no, this works. Good.
So we are still missing a few votes. Dido. And the check was not filled in, but wanted to vote no. So I'll fill that one in. And Omotola hasn't voted either. Well, now we have 43 votes, which I think is what we have in total. And we have 34 no votes, 8 abstain, and 1 yes vote. So I find that we are not going to have an election committee, and that moves us on to the elector of 1 auditor and 1 replacement. And the auditor does not have to be certified in any way and is normally selected among the members of the society.
Sorry, Jakob, can you repeat that, please? Sorry, Jakob, can you repeat that, please?
Repeat
just for
what?
the notes. Just can you just repeat just that there, because I was just looking at something else and I just missed what you just said with the vote with this. Because I'm trying to type notes at the moment.
the part about doing a no vote to the election committee?
Yeah. So that
Yes.
so you just mentioned that, is it? You just okay.
Yes, so we did a no vote with the votes 34 no's, 8 substain, and 1 yes. So election for auditor and second auditor. Second auditor is a replacement auditor in case the primary auditor is for some reason not available. And formally, there are no candidates reported for these positions. So we need some at this meeting. So do I have any nominations? And you are allowed to nominate yourself.
I volunteer as a tribute as a replacement auditor.
Then we have Harald Armin Massa as a candidate for the replacement auditor. Do we have any candidates for auditor? Do I have to nominate myself again?
Do you
I
want
nominate
to?
Jakob.
Yes.
All right, then I'll have to make myself a candidate as well. So I'll be a candidate for auditor for next year as well. So you can enter Jakob Hallén as auditor. Do we have any more candidates? Then I would like this to put this to the vote as vote number 7. And as usual, yes means you want these people, no means you don't want them, and you can also abstain.
So it's 1 vote for both.
Yes, there is 1 vote for both, unless there is somebody who wants to separate them, but then you have to pipe up. Okay, we had 35 votes so far.
Jakob,
Yeah.
there might be a tiny problem here. So the second checker is not here. Is that a problem? That's Daniela.
That's kind of a problem, yes.
Is it possible to get like vote someone else in as the second checker then?
Yes, it is. We'll conclude this vote and then we will vote in a second checker. And it may be that some people have left the meeting for the time being, and we have a total of 38 votes with 34 for and 4 abstain. Is there anybody else who wants to leave a vote now? Okay, then we will conclude the vote with 34 and 4 abstain, which means that we have voted in me and Harald Armin Massa as the auditor and replacement auditor for next year. And then we move on to the presentation of the budget from the outgoing board, and I assume that's Raquel who's going to.
And Anders will do that.
Should we pick a new checker first, though?
Yeah.
Ah, yes. Do we have any candidates for a checker?
Can existing board members be one? Oh, actually, Mark.
Yes,
just
I
raised his
can
hand.
do the checking because I've been following the meeting and taking the notes and the minutes. So
okay, so we have Martin as a candidate.
Jacob, just a question there because I see that the number of votes for vote 7 have gone up to 36 and 4 by now. Should we record those extra votes or not?
Not because we closed the voting.
Okay.
So to
so we have
clarify,
noticed as a,
when you close, sorry, Jakob, just to clarify, just for the notes. So vote 7 concludes at 34 yes, 0 no, 4 was it 4 abstain?
Correct.
And that's 38 votes altogether, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
So we have a motion to elect a new checker of the meetings, and we have Martin as a candidate. Do we have any other candidates? Then I will put it to a vote where
it's
anybody
Mark,
who
not Martin.
Sorry?
Yes, it's Mark.
It's Mark.
and
Oh, sorry.
Not.
So we have Mark as a candidate, and we have no other candidates. And I'm simply going to ask if we can elect Mark as a candidate, and if anybody is against it, you have to say no. So can we elect Mark as a checker of the meeting? I find that we've selected him as a checker of the meeting. Then we move on to presentation of the budget from the outgoing board. Anders, please.
Yes. Yeah, you shared the screen.
Yep.
Right. Excellent. Okay. So we have to vote on a budget for next year. So we have here, I have the budget for the 2 previous years, and we have the result from the 2022, which we just heard earlier. And also we have the current state of 2023. And I'm basically proposing that we just copy last year's budget with one major change, and I think we should up the grants because we've been making profit and we should spend it, basically. I increased some of the other amounts by a little bit. No real reason. I expect them to be, I mean, it's costs and we have inflation again. So yeah, we should account for that. But I think basically we can just copy the budget from last year, but we should increase the amounts for grants. So, and with that, I will open up for questions if you have any.
And Anders, do you want to maybe clarify whether this includes the EuroPython's finite budget?
Right. So the 100,000 I'm proposing for grants would include the finite budget, indeed. Whereas the numbers for 2023 does not include the finite budget because it's a bit hard to separate from the conference surplus exactly how should we count, for instance, a finite grant ticket. So it's basically just moving numbers between 2 rows in the sheet, and I decided not to for for the when I wrote the numbers for what we have to date.
Okay, any more questions about the budget?
I think Martin has a question.
Yes, one question. We just heard the new goal to be able to announce the new conference venue in the middle of 2024. This will probably have extra costs in that year for travel to the new venue and other things. Has that been considered?
Not for this budget, because that would be part of the conference budget, which basically just shows up as the conference surplus line on under income in this budget.
Okay, are you satisfied with that answer? We also have a question from Sebastian.
Yeah, a very short question. So on row 18, we see that the actual for consultancy, legal, etc., is much higher than the budget. So
Yes.
for next year, the budget is low again.
Yeah, the reason it's high is because part of the what went under legal this year is actually for accounting. So I'm expecting the accounting number, which is currently 0, to remain low. So basically we have moved some money from the accounting to the consultancy row, because we got basically we for the Czech conference, we have the same company doing legal consulting and accounting, and everything ended up in the consultancy.
Okay.
In the accounting.
Okay, any more questions? As far as I
one
can...
question. Sorry,
Yep.
I have one question, because you don't have any budget figures for the income side of things for 2022, 2024. Whereas in the previous years you did have.
Yes,
do you have any estimates for that?
We don't really have any estimate. It's more that what should our goal be for the conference, and I actually thank you for bringing that up, because I was actually intending to ask the GA what our goal should be for the surplus of the conference next year. Should we aim for? I mean, we have been making. Yeah.
Right. Sorry.
Go ahead.
It's something that I think maybe not in this GA, but maybe in the next GA, we should probably discuss is what the strategy should be for the EPS to have as the end of year balance. So when I was chair, I tried to basically bring the numbers up to a point where we could afford losing or making a loss of one conference. So basically everything that we had to pay for one conference. And we are beyond that. It's, doing a conference is about 600,000 euros. So 740 is definitely more than we need in the bank. And so, yes, we should definitely increase the grants. We tried that in the past. It didn't really work out because we didn't get enough requests for that. But it seems that things are moving in the right direction now. So I think it's good to have 100 for grants. But I think we should also, when trying to find sponsors and deciding on ticket prices, the board should have in mind that we should not drop below these like 600 or 650,000 that you need for a conference.
So basically, we could in theory aim for net zero on the conference and still be okay, but we should probably aim a little bit above that.
In this case, yeah, because there's more money in the bank than we actually need.
Yes.
Yes, we could do that. Yes. Whether it's a good idea is something to decide for the board, of course, right?
Well, it's actually for the GA to decide, because the budget is decided by the GA. But with that discussion, I would propose like say 50K for the aim of the conference surplus.
Yeah, sounds good.
Are there any other?
Can we get that into the spreadsheet?
I would ask if no, under income.
Yeah.
Maybe I should.
Conference surplus 50.
Maybe I can edit. Are there any other suggestions for what we should aim for conference surplus?
I don't hear anybody speaking up, so I assume that means that this is a reasonable number to aim for.
So I think we can go to the vote.
What about the end of year balance? Is that something we should budget to?
No, I don't think we should budget it.
Okay.
That's just a calculation.
Yeah, and we haven't budgeted it in the past either, but we put it in the actual because we want to show what it was.
Yes. Okay. So then we have some key numbers for the general members meeting to decide about, and that is to aim for conference surplus to be 50,000 euro, and that we should have grants of 100,000 euro as aims, and then we have some small numbers for accounting, consultancy, and other things. If there are no other comments anybody wants to make, we should move on to vote.
Can we also vote to have also the reports in 1,000 euros as the budget for next year? I really like this budget with 1,000 euros. It's easy to understand, but if you have to switch between the 1,000 and 100, it's like with inches and meters. So
yeah. The problem. I mean, I have been trying to get our accountant to do the report in thousands of euros, but apparently the accounting software is dead set on hundreds of euros. So we would basically have to rewrite the report manually if we did that, and that would be a lot more work for her.
I withdraw.
Thank you. Okay, so then we have a vote number 8, I believe, whether we should accept this budget. Then you vote yes. If you don't want to accept it, you vote no, and you can also abstain. Please cast your votes. Now we have had a number of people leaving the meeting, so that means that we will not be up to the total votes that we had before. So I'm going to give 1 more minute for voting and then ask if everybody has voted. So has everybody who wants to vote voted now? Then I find that we have accepted the budgets with 26 yes votes and 10 abstain votes. And then we move on to propositions from the board. There are none. Motions from the members. There are none. And before I close the official part of the meeting, I would like to start by giving the floor to Rochelle and then The floor is
Sorry, there was one. You skipped one. There was the accepted of the budget and decision to keep the memberships at free.
I'm sorry. Yes. So we have a vote number 9. Usually we have a membership fee of 0 to be a member of the EuroPython Society. Are there any other proposals? Then we do the vote number 9, where a yes means keeping the fees at 0. No means something else. I don't know exactly what, and you can also abstain. Has everybody who wants to vote voted? I'm closing the voting, and we have 31 yes votes and 5 abstain votes. So we have decided to keep the membership fee at 0. And then we move on to the end of the meeting. And before we close the meeting, first a few words by Rochelle.
I think it's pretty difficult to describe my emotions, considering that I have known so many.
Sorry, I'm not hearing you very loudly.
Right. Do you hear me loudly?
No,
Not
I don't.
yet.
Still don't
Well,
hear
we
you.
It's not the
still,
same.
now we don't hear you at all.
I've just changed the mic. Do you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Now we hear you.
Okay, well, I think it's pretty difficult to express my emotions, considering that I have spent so much emotions with so many of you for so long. And I just really want to say thank you for so many people and so much friendship. I've truly made so many great friends in the EuroPython Society. And I think genuinely is what makes the society, the community, and Python strong, because we are such a diverse group of people, and like we have weird people. I really want to celebrate that we have so many strange people, and I hope that in the future, I have no doubt that you will dream big and be pragmatic at the same time. And thank you so much.
Thank you, Raquel.
Thank you very much, Raquel, from us all. I think we made a very, very good choice when we elected you chair a few years ago, and I think it's been beyond expectations. Thank you so much. Okay, Arthur, a few words.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say here, so I'm just gonna thank all of you for the vote of confidence. And I have to thank all the outgoing board members as well, because there's a lot, and all of you spent a lot of time on building these organizations over the last couple of years. I'd like to welcome all the new board members, and then hope we can make the EPS even better over the next year. And yeah, I know that VP wanted to say something, so I would like to send the mic back to him.
All right. First of all, I'm going to keep it like very, very chill and very short. I really want to thank Raquel for, literally everything. Like the conference is what it is, like the welcoming atmosphere that the conference has, and the warmth that you also see in the emails, in the tweets, in pretty much any communication that we have is all because of this one wonderful person, Raquel.
You did most of the tweets though, to be fair.
Okay, yes, but that was Sangarshan. But I think in general, what I want to say is that thank you so much for leading by example, and you leaving is going to be is going to leave like a massive hole in the society, in the not the society but in the EuroPython society. But thank you so much for everything that you've done, and I'm just happy to call you a friend. And one more minute for everyone else on the board who is stepping down this year. That's Nicholas, Vicky, and Sylvia, and Patrick, of course. Sorry, thank God he's not here. Each and every one of them have not just sort of dedicated couple of hours per week, but they have went above and beyond. And Patrick spent like hours and hours rebuilding the website, going through GitHub issues, and like just random things that we'd send to him on Telegram to fix like bugs. Not just that, he would like always be up to have a chat about like certain issues that we had or whatever whenever we needed him. Same with Nico. Sylvia pretty much ran the entire show for sponsors for a couple of years, and it is like all of these people are the reason why we are in such a nice and healthy spot as the EPS, not just financially but also like having 45 people in the GA is a testament of the fact that these people really put in their heart and soul into the workings of EuroPython society. So on behalf of the current on behalf of the volunteers that I know, at least, thank you so much for everything that you all did. That's it. I will mute myself.
Okay. Thank you for that speech, Vivi. I think I agree very much with. It requires some heart and soul to hang in here because we are getting close to 3 hours of meeting. So I will just thank everybody for your interest, and I hope I'll see you all at next year's EuroPython. And I hope it's going to be a blast. And with that, I'm closing the meeting, and the channel is still open if you want to hang back and discuss. So thank you very much, everybody. I'm closing the meeting now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank